Hey, I'm Sean,
Hi, and I'm Shannon.
and we're the hosts of Wifey and Baby Mama. Family, we are hyped to have yet again a guest joining us tonight for this week's episode titled What Gives? Shar, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Hello, people. My name is Shar Smith from Buffalo, New York.
All
Thank you for
right.
joining us, Shar.
Hello,
Welcome,
ladies.
Shar.
Hello, ladies.
Hey.
Taking time out of your crazy schedule to join us tonight. As you listeners may know, we love guests. So we're going to be
Yes, we
excited
do.
tonight. This is going to be a great episode. Now, if you know me well enough to know, Shara's been doing this hair for about 20 years, give or take.
Ooh.
Besides the few years I returned to Alabama, but soon as these feet hit the ground back in Buffalo, it's back to business as usual. So we've been down a long time. She don't answer my text sometime, y'all. She get mad at me and make my hair look crazy. But other than that, we be good. But most people know the barbershops and salons, they're like what our second homes, right, lady? So you become
Yep.
intimate.
Mm-hmm. You
Shannon, you always talk
do.
about my flawless bobs. Well,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the
yeah.
magic. This is the magic happening. This is one who makes the magic happen on this head, Shannon. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you again, Shar. I was led to ask Shar
Yeah.
on the show when Shannon and I discussed the title. We've been
Mm-hmm.
friends for so long. We've discussed a lot of things from food to kids, but intimately details about relationships because that's what friends
Mm-hmm.
do, right? We walked each other through some really really hard times. So I thought of her because this topic is perfect for her. So if you
Mm-hmm.
guys also have read my book, this is the infamous Shire in my ride or die. So if you haven't read it, you want to know a little more about how I get down and my friends, you got to know if I'm fool with you, I'm fool with you. So that's my girl. So um all
And
right,
I
so we'll
can
get
tell
into
you
next.
too,
Go ahead.
before you get into it, I'm sorry, Sean, but
No,
if
you're
I
fine.
lived in Buffalo, if I was back in Buffalo, believe me, Shar, I would come to see you.
And
So
I would love to
I
have
have
you, Shannon.
to.
She always tell me, your hair is always so perfect. I'm like, trust me, it's not me.
Always.
It's not me. I call her Shannon. I'm calling her like 5 minutes before, like, I gotta go somewhere. She be like, oh, come on. And sometimes she be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'd be like, okay, cool. You know, it is what it is. Boo, love you. Call you next week. So, so we got
Yes,
that love
that's
hate
what you
relationship
like.
that most stylists, and customers have. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't change it for the world. The more, like I said, time you spend with somebody, the more intimate you would get with them. And
Right.
I felt like she was comfortable enough in her womanhood to run this title with
Mm-hmm.
us tonight. So I asked, she answered the call. So here we are. And tonight,
All
guys, we're gonna
right.
do it, yeah, just a little different. Instead of me just rattling on because we have a guest, so we could have another voice besides my own and Shannon. And I rattle a little more than Shannon, so you probably even enjoy that more. Um, we're gonna do a few touch points. So the first one being, are women destined to be alone without selling? Shannon and I are both married, so thank God we out of the rat race. But I have plenty of
Mhm.
single friends like Shar who's been in long term blended relationships that it's a lot of work and commitment to, and sometimes unfortunately they just don't work out. And I
Mhm.
respect people who are strong enough to call it and draw the line. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Without making each other miserable for the rest of their lives, just so they can say I'm in a
Mhm.
relationship. So
All right.
it's
Mhm.
hurtful. It's hurtful, but I respect the ones more who can call it, and I kudos to the ones who eventually work it out. And for you guys who just stay to say I'm in a relationship, that's so unhealthy. So
It
whatever
is.
side you're on, assess it, do what's best for you, but make sure it's a healthy choice in whatever you do. So, sure, I want to pick your brain a little bit on that question. Do you
Okay.
do you feel it's still a chance at love, or at times do you like or do you say like I'm just gonna be alone? I don't want to be with anyone else. Or
Mm,
and feel free to give whatever background you need to on why you feel the way you do.
mm, no, I don't feel like I'm gonna be alone. I was in a relationship for 25 years, and
Okay.
now I'm just at peace. I
Okay.
raised
Mhm.
4 kids. One I had on my own, three from my previous, he had 3 boys, I had a girl. Um, I'm not looking for nobody. They're gonna find me. I know God will send me
Okay.
Mhm.
somebody. And
That's
right
it.
now I'm
Amen.
just getting to, know myself again.
Mm,
Because
You
after
know,
25 years, right, it has
yeah,
to be some reprogramming, that has to be done. It
definitely.
mhm,
has to
Big
be some
time.
where did I go wrong, or why did I stay so
Right.
long, or why didn't I leave sooner, or what could I have did, to make it work. We have to go through all those stages, right, before we jump
mhm.
into a new thing. Because if not, you bring those baggage and maybe questions into the next relationship, and you start off all wrong.
Yeah,
Right. Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
stayed for a long time because I grew up without a father. Me and my father never had a conversation a day in my life.
Oh,
So I
wow.
always wanted my
Wow.
child to have mother and father in the house.
Mhm, mhm.
And that's one of the reasons why I stayed. I didn't actually leave until my daughter got into her first year of college.
Wow.
So yeah.
Commendable.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I hear so many people that do that, right? And I think if you're strong enough to do that, then kudos. And again, if you say,
Mhm.
let me say, F these kids, if you if you be like, I ain't dealing with this no more, and you can't take it, especially like if it's an abusive type thing, I don't advise that. But if you can hold
Right.
out, because I'm gonna say, girls, I stayed in my second marriage, between me and hubby being married twice. The second marriage, I stayed there, and I was willing to hold it. I'm not kidding you. I was gonna hold it until my youngest daughter was, old enough to be like,
Mhm,
okay, you like you said,
mhm,
maybe on to college. But he left. I came home
mhm,
one day and he was gone. He was like, I couldn't do that no more. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. My heart was broke. My heart was broke, but I didn't want to make the call, Sharp, for the very same reasons you did it. I already had two kids with two other men. You know what I mean? They didn't
Hmm.
have their
mhm.
father. I'm like, I can't do this to this kid again. I can't do it to these kids
Yeah,
again. But I
yeah.
was willing as a woman, I'm telling you, to stay. So I'm not telling these people that don't do it. But one day I came home and he was
Mhm,
like, I'm out. I was like, okay, cool. It hurt because I
mhm,
don't care how bad things get in the end. I don't care what happens. Once you spend an inordinate amount of time with the same person, it
mhm.
hurts.
Yeah,
It
Yeah.
yeah.
does.
Yep.
But the good thing about long-term relationships ending is not good, I should say. Maybe the more, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? I lost the words. I guess the
Mhm.
most helpful part is when a relationship goes bad and you continue to stay, it's not like when the breakup is over, it's a instant heartbreak. Because women leave
Mhm.
mentally way before we leave
Oh,
physically.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for
Yeah. And that was
sure.
me
You
for a
know what
few
I'm
years.
saying?
Hmm.
Mhm.
So I think
Yeah.
that helps. If you've made up your mind to say, I'm going to do this for my daughter, I'm going to do this for my son, I'm going to do this for our kids. And then when it's finally over, it's not so heartbreaking because you're like, you know someone in the back of your mind, like, this is done, you
Mhm.
know?
Right.
Mhm.
But for those kids,
Yeah.
you're going to stay. And I think that when people see a 25-year, 10-year relationship, 5 relationship come to the end, and then you with somebody 90 days later, they're like, man, what happened? Like, they move right on. No, I've been gone. I just
Mhm.
was physically there. So that's how sometimes people are confused. And that's why sometimes
Mhm.
people just need to mind their business too. Whatever works for
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
it works for you. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So
Right.
Right.
like,
Right.
oh, she moved on
Yeah.
fast, or he moved on fast. You don't know what that
Mhm.
person has been doing and preparing themselves for in the last 3, 4, 5 years. They've
You
been
got that
That's
exiting.
right.
right.
They've been
Yeah.
exiting mentally.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
So,
exited about a good 5 years before I left.
okay.
See,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's that's a real thing.
So so Sean had asked, the question about, destined to be alone, and you said no. So
Hmm.
what are you doing? And I know as women, we're found for sure. We don't go out looking for, or we should not go out looking for love and hunting down men. Um, but we also have to prepare ourselves, for what God is sending our way. So what are you doing right now to um prepare yourself or put yourself in the right spot um for that person that's coming?
What you mean prepare myself like what?
Or, like some people say, you can't sit on the couch. They're not going to come knocking on your door.
Right.
Uh,
Or, what are you doing
well, as
to?
far as that, I'm really not doing anything. Um, I hang out, but with my
Hmm.
girlfriends.
Hmm.
I go out to bar, every now and then, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to look for a man, and I know I'm
Oh,
probably
right.
not going to find a man in the bar. I'm going to have fun with
Yeah.
my friends. Actually, I don't even pay attention, to the men
Hmm.
when I'm going. I'm just enjoying my
Hmm.
girls. I just really
Okay.
feel like,
Yeah.
they'll find me. I could be
Right. Right.
pumping my gas. I don't, I
So,
don't, I
Absolutely.
don't know.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
I
know
mean,
where he's
I
Now
gonna
I
I
meet
I
me
I
at.
have a lot of,
I travel
Yeah,
Go
a
ahead.
lot. I could be walking through the airport. I could meet them in a whole
that's
There you
nother
true.
go.
state,
That's a
That's
fact.
so
true. Now, I
yeah,
have a lot of friends who do the online, dating and,
I just think that's so
Match.com and
creepy.
things like
It is creepy. I'm sorry. In this day and age,
I'm
it's creepy.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Mm-mm.
not calling your friends creepy,
Oh,
but
Lord.
I'm so
The
nervous.
I
idea
I
of
know.
it,
do.
I know.
yeah.
It always
Online
freaks
dating.
me out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've always been freaked out. Whenever one of my friends would say, "I'm going to meet this guy, this place or whatever," and I'm like, "Why? Why are you doing this?" It just, oh my
I
gosh, I
have a
get so
girlfriend.
nervous.
I have a girlfriend and her sister does like online dating to it's ridiculous. And we were over
Mhm.
her house one time, and the next thing you know, it was like the her house was surrounded with cops,
Oh my
and
goodness.
they were looking for her her boyfriend that she had, but she wasn't
Oh,
over the house at the time. But he made a phone call, I guess to somebody he had a restraining order against, and they traced the phone call back to her
Back to her
address,
house.
and they was looking for
Wow.
him, and he had beat a woman in the head with a hammer.
mm,
He was on
oh
See?
my
Buffalo's Most Wanted, but
goodness.
the her sister knew.
Oh my
She knew he
goodness.
was almost wanted?
Yes, she did.
Oh, that's
So
awful.
she definitely wants
That's
some thug life.
awful.
Yes,
Baby, you ain't
yes,
got
they
Yeah,
time
had
for
us
it.
yeah,
all, yeah,
yeah,
like it was a
yeah.
raid. They had us all in the front room, wouldn't let us do anything, like we was hiding the man.
Oh my goodness.
Like we was
Oh
hiding the man.
wow.
Now, see, that's what I'm trying to. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not knocking anything. Do your thing, but I watch too many crime shows. Lord knows with my career, I
I
see too much
know.
of this.
I know.
I
Yeah, I
couldn't
know.
trust that, especially like if you
Yeah.
have kids and stuff. You got to be
Yeah.
careful who you're bringing around your children because I
Yeah.
know. Have you guys ever watched the show Criminal Minds? Those
Oh
men
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
business
yeah.
suits. They have
Right.
boats and yachts. They be done killed
Mm-hmm.
somebody else and assumed their
Mm-hmm.
identity. Next thing you
Mm-hmm.
know, they on the boat and they having a good time. They done killed you and the kids. Okay, and took your money and
Yeah.
identity too.
Yeah.
You have to be
Yeah.
careful with that stuff.
You
That's
do.
why
You
I
do.
believe in not to be too holy or spiritual about it because maybe everyone doesn't feel that way, but we all I know everybody on this podcast operates that way. I believe in letting God do the work. I like
Yeah.
I said, hope to never find myself single again, but I'm so happy to hear Char that you didn't give up. I'm a hopeless romantic,
Right.
so
Right.
I am
if I
too.
were to ever
Mm-hmm.
ever find myself single again,
Mm-hmm.
I hope I don't. Lord knows I don't. But I
Now,
would
I do
still
want to
want that
say
black
this.
love.
Yeah, yeah. I do want to say this. I do have friends that are in successful marriages that they did meet online and they've been married,
Yeah,
some
it's always
It
two
does
16,
sides of
but
a
work. It
coin.
so
does work
yeah,
for
it,
some
it can
people.
work. Yeah,
I
it
do
can
hear, and I have
work.
customers that's in online
Yeah,
relationships. I'm just saying it's
and it
not for me.
works.
I'm
Yeah,
scared.
it's not for me.
I'm
It's
just
not for me.
even when you forget the murderers, when you throw in the catfish, girl, don't think I'm in a
Oh,
relationship with
right.
Denzel and his
Oh my
Flavor
gosh.
Flav. Don't play with
Yes.
me. You
Oh
know what I'm
my
saying?
gosh.
You think you up
Yes.
here dating Denzel and Flavor Flav knock on the door, girl, bye. So I don't trust any of that for that reason.
Right.
So, but like you said, personalities sometimes override looks. So to each his
Right.
own. Like I'm not knocking
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't believe in it though, totally.
Yeah.
I,
Right.
I just want that unique feeling of like Shar said, walking through the airport, sticking
Mhm.
up my groceries, pumping my gas. Can I
Mhm.
get that for you? And turn around. Have
Mhm.
you guys ever seen that
Yeah.
movie Just Right with Queen Latifah and
That's one of my favorite movies.
Common?
Eh,
See, and,
common.
and, and
Yes.
my
Uh-huh.
husband don't
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
why I watch it 70 times. I'm like,
Anytime it
that's
come
what
on,
I'm
I'm watching it.
I say, cause
Pretty
brother, that's
Woman,
what I'm yeah, so
Love
like
and
that's what I'm
Yes.
looking
Basketball.
for.
Yes.
It's like you got it right here. I'm like, boy, you don't even hold my hand. Goodbye. So I love the way he takes care of my family.
Oh my
I
God.
could tell you what. I know ain't
Oh,
nobody gonna
well.
ever bother his wife, but
Oh, that's so
he's
funny,
just not. So I
Sean.
gotta get romance off the TV. But guess what? I ain't out here cheating on you. Like yeah, okay.
You right,
So that's a
right,
running
right.
joke that we have because I watch romance movies because I'm a hopeless romantic.
I
But
am
guess what,
too. I
y'all?
love them.
Let me tell y'all, in these last 2 years, I'm breaking them down, Shar. You hear me? He caught himself holding my hand the other day. So get off me.
I
So
can see
you
it.
gotta
I
just
see it. I see
you
it when
see
I
it,
see
Shar?
y'all. Yes, I
Yeah,
Yeah,
do.
you gotta
yeah.
break them down, honey. Love on them.
Yeah, you
So don't
do. You do.
don't let the fact that
Yeah.
he's not romantic be the only reason you can't still
I
meet her.
seen him put
Don't
his
let the
arm
fact
around you at the book
you,
signing. I said, look at Jimmy, public, doing public display.
You know what?
He
I
has
learned to
come
just
a long way.
yeah, I pray about it and let God break him down. Because
Mhm.
the more I fussed about it, the
Yeah.
farther away he went, So we got to
Yeah.
just let him come to us, got to let it be a
Mhm.
natural thing with everything we do.
That's right. That's
But when
right.
you've been loved properly, it's kind of hard to not have it all. Like I
Mhm.
said, my ex-husband, he was a hopeless romantic. Like we were, oh my God, food to the food to the bed. Put my
Um,
shoes on before I can bend down. I got it, honey. But
ah,
he ain't had no thug passion. You gotta also be able to tell
okay.
me to shut up when I'm being too loud. And I gotta want to listen to you. Because I'm gonna go round for round with you. So I told him be like, shut up. He'd be like, all right. I'm like, what? No, that don't turn me on. That don't turn me on. I need to say it back. So
Right, right.
you got to find that perfect blend. You know what I'm saying? But we all
Yeah,
know though,
yeah.
nothing's going to be 100% perfect. So
That's
you know
right.
what?
Exactly.
You got to
Exactly.
Never,
pick, you know what I'm
never.
saying? You got to pick the one you're willing to go through it with and go through it with.
Yeah,
Now, Shannon,
yeah.
do you
Mhm.
have your 80/20 or do you have 100%? Like, is it all you
Oh,
need?
no. It's eighty
Oh
twenty
no.
for sure. For sure. You know,
And
I
I want to not to tell your business or not to oh
mhm,
Shannon, what you got going on. It's just to let everybody know. Everybody
mhm.
has something different. Each
That's
man, each woman
right.
have something different to bring to the
That's
table.
right.
None of us
Yeah,
is gonna have it
yeah,
all. It's my mouth for
yeah.
me. He told me you got one more
Mhm.
time. I said, okay, I gotta tone it down a little bit. I done took the
Yeah,
thug
your
too
mouth
far.
is
So
crazy.
yeah, I took the thug too far one night. He's like, one more time. I ain't never did it again. So you gotta you gotta find your
Yeah,
perfect
yeah.
balance.
Right,
If you
right.
want if you want your perfect piece. Not a perfect
Yeah.
relationship, but if you want perfect peace, it's certain things
Mhm,
that both partners gotta be
mhm.
willing to give up. So
Right.
don't equate being a wife to being perfect. And Shannon was
Yeah.
like, well, what are you doing? I think I
Mhm.
understood, but I was like, I ain't doing nothing. I understood where you was going with that, Shannon. It's like it's like the virgins in the Bible, with the
Uh-huh.
wives and the oil, right? You got to stay ready.
Yeah,
So that's what I think when
yeah.
she said, I'm going out, I'm hanging
Mhm,
out, I'm not sitting in the house in
mhm,
a row waiting for him to knock.
mhm,
She's not doing that.
mhm.
But I'm not out here like, okay, is that gonna be my husband? Oh, he nice looking.
Right,
Right.
Nobody got
right.
time
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for
Yeah.
that.
No,
And after
no.
40 or 45, I'm one of those people that believe in the love at first sight. What Shara's doing is preparing herself to be a
Mhm,
wife because I've dealt
mhm,
with all those issues, all the heartache, all the distrust, whatever I may have had. So when my husband come along, I can just receive him properly and we can just
mhm.
carry on. And it don't
Right.
take you 10
Yeah,
years or 5 years to do that. Do that before you find me because I'm going to go ahead and let you
Right.
on the
right.
walk after about 2 years. Go ahead now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying
Right.
you have to rush into anything, but it doesn't take you 10 years to figure out if you want to marry me or not. I just don't have
That's
time for that at
right.
my age.
It does not take that long.
Yeah, we're not doing the
Mm-mm,
wheelchair down the aisle till I
mm-mm,
found love,
mm-mm.
girl.
Right. Right.
No, not doing that either. So you're gonna get a couple of months to a year too, and I'm gonna go ahead and on to the next one.
My
And that's
mother
not
got
Uh-huh.
married
looking.
when she was 50. My
Wow,
mother got
yeah.
See?
married.
See,
Yeah, she got
Mhm,
married when she was
mhm,
50.
mhm.
She
and
did.
Yep.
Shannon, you always
Me
said that you
too.
got
Me
married
too.
later in life for those
Mhm.
same
Yep.
reasons.
Yep. Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. It took me a long time to say it's, something that I really wanted.
Yeah.
And, meeting my husband and, just seeing just how intense he was focused on me. And I've never had anyone that laser focused on what call little old me. I'm like, what is going on here? It's like,
That's what's up.
Because
you
your
know?
person is your person, and
Yeah,
Right.
it's
yeah,
that's why it
yeah.
doesn't take 10 years to figure it out.
Mhm.
Right.
It could
Right,
be
right.
6 months, it could be 6 days, it could be after that. What
Mhm.
you say? The
Mhm.
first date. Okay, that's me.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
knew when I met my husband at the and I can tell you what else could be wrong too. It could be just bad timing sometimes. When I met my husband at
Yeah.
the bus stop
Yeah.
at 19, after he took me home from college,
Mhm.
I was like, that's me. I don't know why.
Mhm. Mhm.
After our first date, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, that's definitely me. And I was I was laser focused on making him be my man. He wasn't ready.
Uh-huh.
You see what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I
You
don't
was
care how much
focused.
Mhm.
You was
I don't
focused.
care. I was focused. I don't care
I
how
know you was.
much
I
you're
was doing
into
your
a
hair and she
person.
was focused.
Shut up, Shar. But it don't matter how focused I was, right? He wasn't ready. So
Right.
nothing I did, and
Right.
Shar, I was good to him ever since the day I met him. But nothing I did made him be ready. They have to make up their
Right.
minds. And guess
Yep.
what? That took years of
Yep.
separation to get to the place we are
Mhm.
now. So
Yeah.
sometimes you're not
Yeah.
missing it. It's just bad
Right.
timing, you
Right.
know?
Yep.
So Shar,
Yep.
let me ask you this. I know you said that your ex had 3 boys that you raised and y'all had a daughter. Would you
Mhm.
consider dating someone with minor children again, or are you
No,
just living your best life?
no,
It was a hard no. It was a
Before
hard
you
no.
get
Okay,
out,
so
yeah.
we ain't got to discuss it.
no. Yeah, we need older kids. Like we need older kids like that. It's time to have fun and travel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
want to stop them in the
Yeah.
middle of the day because we got to go get Nunu from school
Right.
So
or
you
daycare.
so
No,
so what you saying? You don't want to help me raise Frank Char?
no. I want to give Frank a hug and kiss when I
Yeah.
see him. Bye bye, Frank.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
bye bad butt Frank. That's what you call it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Char, I do applaud you waiting because in
Mhm.
between my marriage to my second husband and remarrying my husband this time for the second time, I started running around. I'm like, okay, cool. He left me.
Mhm.
I was a little angry because first of all, you
Mhm.
leave Ike, you don't leave Ike. See, first of
Hmm.
all, I stayed with you when I want to when I'm gonna come home and you gone. So I was a little bitter, you know. Even though I had did
Yeah.
some mess in between, I understood he was well within his rights to leave. But still, I was staying and I felt like you should have stayed too. But that was that man's choice, right? But I
Hmm.
was hurt.
Right.
So I started running around with this little young boy and honey, it was all good. Baby, that baby, but okay. So it's a family show. So I was
Yes,
into the
it
boy,
is.
right? I was into the boy, but y'all know after a couple of months, it was like eating dirt. Like
I know.
suddenly, it repulsed
Uh-huh.
me
Yep.
because you know what? I had moved out of my place in God. And
Yep.
so
Yes, you
therefore he
had.
did not allow me to get comfortable in that mess. I
Mhm.
ran back to God. I told him this ain't gonna work. He said, I kind of feel the same way. I'm telling you, if you will stay in your place, even if you come out of place, if you're covered, he'll
That's
bring you
right.
back in. You just keep
Right.
connected, keep a connection. Even if you're out of pocket, keep a connection and he'll bring you back in. But I stopped dating him. I went back to church. I was focused on me and my children, what you're doing, Shar, without the kids, minus the minor
Mhm.
kids, just going to church, work.
Mhm.
Like you said, going out with my friends, just keeping my mind on Jesus.
Hmm.
Came back to a
Mhm.
funeral, ran back into my husband, and boom, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't
Yeah.
peaches and cream, but I was in my place. So therefore, God brought him back. God brought him to his place because he saw me remain in mine and steadfast on it.
Mhm.
So I think
Right.
what you're doing, Shar, is beautiful. I think you keep
Yes,
doing
it
what you're
is.
doing. And I can't wait to stand next to you in the aisle, baby. Walk you down
Right.
like you did me, baby. Yeah, we put
Right.
another nice down in the books, baby. We party
Right.
like party
We
like rock
did.
stars.
We did. That was a good time.
It was a good time,
Yes.
ladies, and this has been good to my soul, y'all. I can go all night. Shannon, you
Yes.
got anything else to add?
Yes. Nothing else to add. It's
I
been really
truly enjoyed
good.
this topic, and it's always wonderful to have, another opinion besides our own. So
Mhm.
I love it here, but it's time to move on. So, Shar, you're about to
All
witness a
right.
real live red line. Y'all ready?
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
We are on to the red lines.
This week's red line is titled Sides Should Only Be Served as Dishes. It's time to get back to the queens that we are called to be. And I can speak on both sides of this coin because I've been a side and a main. And the titles themselves, explain which one's more rewarding,
Mhm.
right? No one wants to be a side dish. No one wants to be the carrots or the
No.
celery people push to the side, right? I mean, I
Right.
eat it sometimes, depending on how hungry I
Yeah,
am, wait for the
yeah.
main dish, but still, that's
Mhm.
not what we go for, right?
That's right.
I'm telling you, seriously, the main course is what we all wait for, so let these men
Mhm.
wait. We can no longer give men the opportunity, or better yet, allow ourselves to believe that we're only worth a night or two, here or there, a weekend
Mhm.
in Vegas, a all-star game, or the trophy piece, when his man is coming to town and he need a pretty girl to present.
Mhm.
Stop it.
Right.
Look into the mirror as many times as you need to, just as I had to every day until I got it right, and say you are a
Mhm.
masterpiece. If they can't see
Yes.
it, they're lost. Move on. God thinks the world
Mhm.
of us. And if these men don't do the same, then let him pass. That's not your person. He doesn't deserve you. And it took me a couple of rounds of bumping my head before I broke free of I need a man. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
alone. I've been a force to reckon with ever since I found out who I was. So get to know yourself and wait for the man that
Mhm.
God has for you. It didn't matter how many men I had been with or how many men you've been with. The right one is prepared to spiritually and emotionally take care of you, like the gift that you are.
Mhm.
And remember, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So until that man comes along, be good to yourself, ladies. And that's my red line topic for today.
All right.
Amen. Loving it. And I
Thank you.
want to say to the young girls too, I know, a lot of them are out here, getting money from these dudes who are getting money by, various means. And they are side pieces because of that lifestyle. And they're saying, I'm going to stick around for this because all my bills are paid. I'm riding in a nice car. Some are even put up in apartments. So, young girls, that is not enough. That is not why you're here. That is not God's purpose for your life
It
to
ain't enough
live like
money to pay
that.
for your soul. It ain't
That's
enough money to
right.
cleanse it either.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not because
Yeah.
that's another reason. Shannon, in the beginning, I was
Mhm.
with him and I didn't
Ah.
care what he did because he was a good provider and a protector.
Mhm.
So long
Mhm.
as everything was, I didn't pay for anything,
Mhm.
and I just,
Yeah.
well, because
Yeah.
you wake up one day, I'm the prize.
Right.
So,
Right.
Absolutely, honey.
Yes. Amen and
and I could take care of
amen.
myself.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely. You got the same two hand and the same
Yeah.
2 feet they
yeah,
got.
That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
right. All
So,
right. Love it. All right. Love that red line. So, for those of you who would like the chance to win a $100 gift card, submit your red line, whatever's, on your chest, whatever you want to get off your chest. Submit your red line to wifey and baby mama at gmail.com. And if we choose your red line to read on our show the third Thursday of each month, you will win a $100 gift card. So please submit your submissions. Once again, that is wifey and baby mama at gmail.com. We look forward to reading them and we really enjoy the submissions. So thank you all for submitting them each week. All right. So now we're on to the final segment of our show, the segment we like to call the fictional family I am feeling. All right. The fictional family I'm feeling this week. The family, they're called the Robinsons. Sherry Shepherd, she had a show back in the day before she has her successful talk show today. But on the Sherry show, she had an ex-husband played by Malcolm Jamal Warner, and they had a son together. And she needed to go, or it was time for her to go out on a date because she hadn't dated in like 15 years or so, or whatever. And she went on a date, and at the end of the date, um, they had a really great date. And at the end of the date, they went in for the kiss, and she kind of messed things up or whatever because she was nervous or, out of practice or whatever. So it bums her out, and she decides she's not going to date anymore. So she's sitting on the couch, and her father comes over and he says, "You have to get off this couch." He says, "I'm going to take you out." So he starts taking her out. I mean, really taking her out. They're going out, you see them, on a boat. You see them going to the movies. You see them at dinner. You see them doing all these things that couples do. And she realizes, oh, what the heck? I'm dating my father. And so, so, so she sits him down and she says, "Okay, we can't do this anymore." He said, "Oh, I'm so glad you finally said it." He said, "Because I was about to dump you." And she was like, "Well, you can't dump me. I'm your daughter." But he's like, "You really needed to get out." He says, "That's the only thing I was trying to do is to get you off the couch and get you back out there so that you can find love again." And she said, "Well, Dad, I really want to, but I'm scared." And he says, "So what? Do it scared." And she kind of looked at him like, "Really?" He's like, "Right. Do it scared. Just do it. No, it doesn't matter how you do it. Just get out there." So the next scene, you see her walking to the apartment of the guy she had flubbed the date with. She knocks on his door. He opens the door and she says, "This is how the night was supposed to end." And she lays a big kiss on him and goes on to live happily ever after, so on and so on. So I think that was a beautiful thing for, first of all, for her dad to, try to help, but then for him to tell her to do it scared. Just get
Right,
out
And
there.
yeah,
right.
and I want to say the do it scared is great.
Mhm.
You never know if you don't try. But the do it scared can
Right.
also apply in the other way. Like Shar and I was speaking of being in relationships when you're stuck. Move on. Do it scared
Oh,
if it's
right,
unhealthy. Do
right.
it scared if it
Mhm.
means taking care of your own bills and raising your kids alone. Do it scared if that means
Mhm.
finding the man God's supposed to have for you
Mm.
instead of
Exactly.
staying somewhere comfortable and unsafe.
Yep,
Exactly.
Do it scared either way.
yep.
Great, great fictional family, girlfriend.
All right. So that's the Robinsons, the fictional family I'm feeling this week. Okay, so we have come to the end of our show tonight. We want to thank you all for listening, subscribing, and downloading, all of our podcasts. We do have to announce, I forgot, Sean, we haven't been announcing this, but we are now in 6 countries around the globe.
Okay.
So,
Applause.
I know. Oh,
Yes.
I forgot. We applause. Yes. Six
Applause.
countries.
That is awesome.
That's
Shar,
awesome,
I
we
guys.
thank
know.
you. So we're gonna have some more listens after Shar tonight because she's single and she says she waiting, fellas. So you
I'm
know,
waiting.
make sure y'all at the gas station, airport. She like to travel. Not at the bar though. She just hang with us. They can hang with us when we at the bar.
All
But
right.
Right, right,
I thank you,
right.
Shar, for joining us tonight, and we
Yes.
look forward to many more episodes. So if you ever want to come back,
Hmm.
reach out. We got you.
Oh, please. Yes. Welcome
Okay. Thank
anytime.
you guys for having me.
You're very
All
welcome,
right.
darling.
Okay. So we look forward to talking to everyone next week. And
Love
until
you
then,
all.
love you all.
All right. Good
Bye.
night.